conversation.
We always do a selfie.
Oh, do we?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Whatever. Try to do.
Are selfies a one-off? I guess maybe, hey? It's just, yes.
Somebody told me they're actually called ussies, because it's us.
As opposed to a selfie.
I don't know. Nope. Our comms person's saying no.
Ussie.
Yeah.
Glasses.
There we go. Thank you.
That's that.
That's that.
What do you hope? Because we've talked a lot in the last 10 or so minutes. But what do you hope your legacy will be as Dean in the Faculty of Health? That's a hard question because it assumes there might be
an end to it.
And I'm not thinking that far ahead, to be honest with you.
No,
but that said, I imagine it takes some time to think about how that could materialize. So yeah, what do you hope your legacy might be as Dean of the Faculty of Health?
Yeah, it's a really, I think, important question for any leader, probably any faculty, anybody really.
Right.
But if I could leave this faculty where we are like a magnet for talent, and people want to work here, they want to study here, they see us as a supportive, engaging, invigorating environment, that is a really great place to work and study. I would, and I want that reputation. I want people to go, I want to be in the Faculty of Health at Dalhousie. That's what I'd like to have.
That's what you'd like to have.
Yep. And in that, you attract that talent. You get the research, you get the educators, you get the staff that can move our mission forward. That's exciting. Without that, we're sunk.
Yeah, no, and it's just not something you can just up one day and decide to do. It takes time to connect the dots, make the networks,
and then
to achieve those.
Yeah, and then the other kind of piece, I would love to be in a position where the faculty is really breaking down those systemic barriers so that we have more healthcare providers who are from some of those priority communities, so that our healthcare workforce, including ours in the faculty, it looks and is representative of our community members. So how do we have more Black, Indigenous, etc., LGBTQ people in the workforce in health? If we can help support that mission, it would be great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Brenda. Now, can you, because we're coming up on our sort of the end here, I can't
wait for the fun questions.
The fun questions.
Actually, these have been good questions.
But before we get to the fun questions, can you share a personal experience or moment during your tenure that stands out as particularly impactful or meaningful for you?
I looked at, I think the pandemic was that left a mark on everybody.
If you can remember it. It's like a fuzzy period.
It was. It really was.
I know, it's hard to recall what happened then.
This is a hard one because I think there's lots of moments where you're like, wow, this is good work. But I think as the dean, for the very first time leading an organization through strategic planning, and then launching that new strategic plan was fun. And it was nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Are we getting where we want to be? But then, the year and a half now, a year and a half? How many? Anyway, however long
it's been.
Let's go a year and a half.
Yep.
Of implementing that plan, where we're like 50% completed of our projects. And we're looking to add new ones, maybe 40%. I don't know the exact. So, where I look around our faculty and the people that are leading those projects in the sense of pride, like, man, look what we did.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, what's next? So, hopefully it's not exhausting for people, but to have those really tangible things that you can work towards, finish, and then move on to the next thing, I think is pretty exciting. Yeah.
And build from.
Yeah. And to where, I genuinely think both faculty, staff, want a part of their job where they're contributing to something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
And if we can kind of carve out that time and space to do that, I think that's a win for everybody. Yeah.
Thanks, Brenda. So I'm going to get to some fun questions. All right.
Let's see if I can handle the fun questions.
Here we go.
Uh,
Tell us about your pets.
my pets.
Your pets.
Okay, I have two
Yes,
dogs.
Two dogs.
Hazel, she's 9 years old. She's a corgi poodle mix.
Okay.
Very soulful being. Like, she's by my side all the time. Like, she's tuned in.
Right.
She's tuned in to all the things.
Yeah.
Ranger, he's a miniature Australian Shepherd. He's 8. And I think he kind of has circus music going on in his head all the time. Like, but he's wicked smart. But, yeah, he likes to go to his own, like,
Beat to his own
drum. That's it.
Is that how it
Yeah.
goes? Or, yeah.
And, but they keep me active, walking, and I live by myself, so they are good communication partners as well.
Right.
They don't talk back too much. So, but no, they are a joy to have around. Yeah.
So outside of spending a lot of time with the pets, do you have a hobby or interest of yours that might surprise people?
Oh boy. I have a hobby that I keep a little dark secret. So here it goes. Well, maybe it's not a secret. I love listening to health-related podcasts. That shouldn't be a surprise, right? I'm a dean of health. But then I like the little biohack things that you can do to, like, let's see if this works. So I have gadgets. I have health gadgets. So I bought a sauna. I have a cold plunge. I have red light therapy. Oh yeah. So this is a little dark secret for me that I'm like, well, whatever we can do, we should be trying to do it, if within reason.
Maybe this is a question about books, and maybe this aligns with what we just talked about. What's the best book you've read recently? And or your favorite book of all time?
I don't know if I can do a favorite book of all time.
That's a really hard one. Great one.
This will align with the health gadgets, possibly. But I think any woman who is approaching menopause, perimenopause, should read Next Level by Dr. Stacey Sims.
Okay.
It is a book around what happens to women's bodies. The research that many women follow are all based on men, and she focuses all of her research on women. And it is a wealth of information. She has another book, and I'm not going to read. I think it's called Roar, for your not menopausal women, and how your athletic ability, your fitness, and how it changes with your hormones. It's pretty fascinating. So every woman should own those books, I would say. Yeah. And then other book. I am an avid listener of Audible books on tape.
Okay, right.
I listen to books all the time. So I cannot even pull one out of I'm listening to a Stephen King one right now. And it's not a spooky one. It's good. But I listen to Audible books all the time. Yeah.
So those two books that you talked, or the one book you talked, was it Audible, or was it a book you read?
I have both. I have both. I have the Audible version of Stacey Sims and the actual book. Yep. Yeah. So there's a gift for the women in your life.
Yeah. So
I'm starting to sweat with all this.
This is good, I know. So let's we could maybe wrap this up with the best piece of advice that you've ever received. That's a really
tough one.
But anyway,
I think it is probably I had someone, leadership mentor that said leadership's not a solo sport, not a solo endeavor. It's a team.
Right.
It's team. And it's, like I think we already talked about this a little bit, is that, as a leader, you're here to promote and cultivate the success of your people, not yourself.
Yeah.
Because when everybody's succeeding, the whole organization lifts. And so it's not about me right now. I think that's the advice.
Well, thank you very much, Brenda. So I don't know how this ends. So how does it end?
So I will. Well,
I don't have that on this.
I really appreciate having the conversation with you.
Oh, this has been wonderful.
And maybe you learned
a
few things about
actually.
me, but I'm really appreciative that you were willing to come in and do the flip the script on Dean's Dialogue.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.